Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into a pedal that, well, really marked a turning point for a company we all know, the Electro Grand Canyon delay and looper.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon, it's a fascinating one.
For ages, EHX, it meant big muffs, small stones, classic analog sounds, real foundation stuff.
Absolutely, icons.
But the Grand Canyon, landing in 2018, that felt different. It wasn't just another analog box. It felt like a big digital jump. So our mission today, using this workstation guide we have, is to figure out how this one pedal, this Grand Canyon, took EHX from, well, the classic effects guys, into being a real player in that high-end digital delay scene, like a serious contender.
It really was a pivot, you're right. And it's kind of a masterclass in finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Modern gear often has this problem. Tons and tons of digital power, but is it actually usable?
Right. If you need a manual in an hour to find a simple slapback.
Exactly. You lose people. The Grand Canyon, its whole story is about tackling that. It jammed an incredible amount of stuff, a dozen delay types, a massive looper into something that was still pretty compact and crucially way more affordable than the real top-tier workstations.
So it wasn't just a new pedal.
No, it's almost like democratizing the digital workstation idea.
Yeah.
Making that power accessible.
That's a great way to put it, democratizing the workstation. And that brings us to where it came from. It hit in 2018, yeah.
2018, correct.
But it wasn't out of nowhere. It followed the original Canyon delay from 2017, which was super popular. People called the Grand Canyon its big brother.
Yeah. The smaller Canyon was a huge success, simple, multi-mode, standard box.
Yeah.
But the Grand Canyon was EHX saying, okay, we can play on the main stage now.
So not just a small step up.
No, this was ambition. This was EHX looking at the market leaders, the Boss DD500, the Eventide time factor, especially the Strymon timeline, those complex, deep, often menu-heavy units.
The kings of the hill back then.
Right. And EHX basically said, look, we can give you most of that power, most of that flexibility, but maybe simpler and definitely cheaper.
Okay, but hold on. When you say Strymon, Eventide, those pedals had a reputation for absolutely pristine audio quality, top-shelf DSP chips. Could the Grand Canyon, at its lower price, really compete sound for sound? Or was it more about just ticking feature boxes?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the sources suggest it was a calculated trade-off. Maybe those elite units had slightly better converters, maybe slightly more complex core algorithms.
A hair more fidelity, perhaps?
Perhaps. But the Grand Canyon won on value and ease of use. It delivered that workstation level of features, fit on a normal pedal board, and didn't break the bank. It might have traded that last 2% of sonic perfection for massive functional gains. It was definitely powerful enough.
And looking at EHX's history, this was a big deal for them, right? They weren't exactly known for cutting-edge digital stuff before this.
Oh, it was huge for their image. When it came out, people were calling it EHX's most ambitious delay ever. Think about it, a company built on fuzz and analog goo.
Yeah, the Memory Man, the Polychorus.
Exactly. The Grand Canyon cemented the reputation for serious DSP design. It told everyone, okay, EHX gets digital now. They can build complex stuff too. It was a real statement.
All right, let's pop the hood then. What exactly did they pack inside? Because workstation implies a lot. 12 delay engines, you said.
12 total, yeah. Everything from the original Canyon plus some new ones that really push things. The variety is key. We can kind of group them to make sense of it all for you listening.
Okay, let's break it down.
First up, you've got the classics, your everyday sounds, the foundation. There's the echo mode, just a nice, warm, clear digital delay standard stuff.
Your basic repeat.
Exactly. Then tape mode, which is vital. It's not just repeating. It adds that vintage tape warble, the wow and flutter, so the repeats degrade in that cool, organic way.
Mimicking old tape machines, right.
Precisely. And the big one for EHX.
The DMM mode had to be there.
Absolutely. Emulating the Deluxe Memory Man, it gives you that darker, modulated, almost analog feel, even though it's digital processing. That's a huge selling point. Just those three make it a solid pedal.
Okay, so that covers the basics, but where does it get adventurous? Modern players love atmosphere.
Right, and that's group 2, the ambient builders. This is where it shows its high-end aspirations. You get reverb plus delay, essential for those huge washed-out sounds where the repeats just kind of melt into a big reverb space.
Like a built-in reverb pedal almost.
Sort of, yeah, blended perfectly. And then shimmer.
Ah, shimmer, the sound of modern ambient guitar.
Totally. It's not just octave up repeats. It's this regenerative, harmonizing thing that builds these massive, sparkling, cathedral-like textures. That mode alone used to cost you serious money on dedicated pedals.
I could see someone just living in that mode. But it wasn't only about pretty sounds, was it? There's some weirder stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. Group 3, the experimental and rhythmic. This is for the sound tweakers, the rhythm scientists. Shows how deep the DSP really goes. You've got sample and hold, super cool. It creates these glitchy, stepped, almost random sounding repeats, very synth-like.
That sounds wild, like controlled chaos.
It can be. Then you have reverse, obviously, for the backwards effects. Multi-tap for creating complex rhythmic patterns, like having multiple delay taps.
Like old multi-head tape echoes.
Exactly that kind of vibe. And pitch mode, which is incredibly powerful. Shifts the pitch of the repeats up or down. You can create harmonies, weird dissonant textures. It's a sound design tool.
Wow, okay, that's a serious toolkit. What's the last group?
The last one is kind of niche and utility, cool specific sounds or studio tricks. There's drum mode, which is meant to sound like an old Benson Eckerek, that magnetic drum echo sound. Very specific, warm, rhythmic decay.
Very vintage, very sought-after sound.
Totally. And finally, doubler, pure utility. A super short delay for thickening your tone, like an automatic double tracking effect. Great for recording or just adding weight.
12 distinct voices. Incredible. But you mentioned it's the Grand Canyon delay and looper. The looper isn't just tacked on, is it? 16 minutes of record time sounds huge.
It's genuinely massive. 16 minutes compared to, what, 30 seconds or a minute? On many loopers back then, it's monumental.
What does that mean practically?
For a solo artist, it means you can build entire songs layer by layer, verses, choruses, different parts, not just a quick riff. Plus, it has overdubbing, under-redo. It's built for actual composition.
Is there one key thing about how the looper works?
Yeah, the independence. This is crucial. The loop plays back completely separately from the delay engine.
Ah, okay, so you could.
So you could loop a clean chord progression using, say, the echo delay. Then, while that loop plays, switch the live delay sound to shimmer and play leads over your clean loop with that huge ambient effect. You're processing your live playing differently than the loop.
That allows for really complex layering live.
Very cool.
Super powerful for performance. Okay, so we've got all this digital power, these 12 modes, this giant looper. But back to that approachability point. How did they make it work on a pedal board, in the real world?
The physical design is key. They use their EXO enclosure, bigger than a standard pedal, but way smaller than a Timeline or a DD500. Much more board-friendly.
Sensible size.
And crucial features were physical. Stereo inputs and outputs, non-negotiable for modern rigs. And the big one, 2-foot switches. One for bypass, one for tap tempo or looper record play. No awkward press and hold dancing just to turn it on or set the tempo.
Yeah, that's huge. Live. Simple. Direct control.
Makes a massive difference. And that tap tempo switch has subdivisions, quarter notes, dotted eighths, triplets. Essential for playing with a drummer.
Right. Gotta lock in. What about trails?
Yep, a physical tail switch. You choose. Let the delays fade out naturally when you bypass or cut them off instantly. Simple, but vital for smooth transitions.
Okay, so the basic operation is pretty straightforward. What about deeper control? For the real tweakers.
They included an expression CV input. That's pro-level stuff.
So you can plug in an expression pedal.
Exactly. Or control voltage. And control parameters like delay time, feedback, modulation depth with your foot in real time. Tune it into a dynamic instrument, swell repeats, create crazy pitch bends.
Adds a whole performance dimension.
Definitely. And the final piece of the puzzle for a true workstation.
80.
Full MIDI capability, in and out, sync it to drum machines, sequencers, lock tempos perfectly. And crucially, MIDI lets you access and recall 13 user presets.
Ah, so you can save your sounds.
Yep. Store 13 completely different setups, your perfect tape echo, your wild shimmer sound, your glitchy sample hold thing, and recall them instantly. That makes it gig ready.
That whole package, the sounds, the looper, the control, the MIDI, it really sounds like they nailed that balance you mentioned at the start. Power and usability.
They really did. And its legacy proves it. It's still being made today, which is pretty uncommon for a digital pedal from 2018. It got rave reviews for packing in so much without being a nightmare to navigate.
Not too much menu diving.
Exactly. You could dial in complex sounds using knobs, mostly. It felt more immediate than some competitors, and its impact was significant. First, it really boosted EHX's reputation as a digital powerhouse, showed they could hang with the boutique guys. Second, it put pressure on those high-end companies. It proved you could offer 12 engines, MIDI, and a huge looper without charging the earth. It raised the bar for what people expected at that mid-price point.
So looking back, it went from being the Canyon's big brother to a genuine flagship that reshaped EHX's image and maybe even nudged the whole market a bit. Quite the journey for one pedal.
It really is. And I think the key takeaway wasn't just the number of features, the 12 modes, the 16 minutes. It was how well they organized all that power. It gave you that boutique depth, weird modes like shimmer or sample and hold, but kept the feel of a regular pedal you could just stomp on. Dedicated switches, clear knobs. That efficient organization was the real design win.
Efficiency, that's the word. So if that balance of power, price, and efficiency defined things a few years back, it makes you wonder, what's next? What tech or feature is maybe already out there but underused, waiting to define the next wave of gear? For you listening, you've now got the Grand Canyon's feature set laid out. It's built for exploration. If you had one, which of those more experimental modes that drum echo maybe, or the glitchy sample and hold, which one would you dive into first to find a new sound? Something to think about until our next deep dive.